Hi, do you have a Myspace? If not, what about a Facebook? So, Myspace and Facebook, in case you don't know, are two of the most dominant social media platforms in the past 20 years. They started in the early to mid 2000s and were direct competitors for a time, with both of them trying to vie for the same market of social media internet users. So, as you can see from this chart, MySpace was initially ahead of Facebook in terms of overall users and funding. They were bought by News Corp in 2005 for about $580 million, and Facebook didn't have as many users per month and actually had less funding at that time since it started about a year before. So, as you can see from this chart and some of these statistics, Facebook was able to eclipse MySpace in terms of overall users and monthly users and funding and all sorts of metrics. So how were they able to do this? Facebook was a lot more responsive to their user base. They were looking a lot more at changing their platform and being adaptive. And MySpace was a lot more stagnant. They weren't able to change and develop as quickly. They didn't implement features like friends of friends and sort of prioritize which information you would see as compared to Facebook, that would show your friends' information first and then your friends of friends and so on. And MySpace was also limited by News Corp since they had a controlling organization and Facebook was independent. So, as a response, kind of as an answer to the first question, if you didn't have a MySpace, don't feel bad because they only have about 15 million monthly users right now, and Facebook has almost 3 billion, so that's almost half the world. So here we can see something, this is more the core of the presentation, we can see something more very similar going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum at the current time. So this is a lot like the early Facebook versus MySpace competition in terms of how we can see Bitcoin as a very dominant player in the cryptocurrency market from the beginning. It was actually first blockchain started, and you can see from this chart going back to about 2013 that their market share, their dominance, that's the percentage of market cap versus all cryptocurrencies. So it was about 95 plus percent. But it's been steadily decreasing over time as new cryptocurrencies have come to the market and been worth something. So they've been valued, and that's increased the overall size of the cryptocurrency market and made Bitcoin's market share dominance decrease. This is a trend we can expect to continue, and in fact we're looking at, over the next 5 or so years, Ethereum, the green line, which is the second largest cryptocurrency, it's an altcoin, to surpass Bitcoin in overall value. So that event is known as the flippening. So I advise you to prepare for the flippening. What we're looking at is the purple line is also all the other altcoins combined. So that's the value of all other coins that are not either Bitcoin or Ethereum. So if you look at investing in Ethereum or a smaller altcoin, your potential returns as compared to a pure Bitcoin investment over the next 5 years are much higher due to the overall decrease, the decline in Bitcoin's market dominance, and the eventual flippening of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So here we have some reasons about why the flippening will likely happen. We can see that Bitcoin has about 250,000 monthly users, about a fifth as many as Ethereum. That has 1.2 million transactions per day. So those are daily transactions. Ethereum has about 6 times as many monthly developers that work on Ethereum's blockchain itself directly or Ethereum apps as compared to Bitcoin. monthly developers. Vitalik Buterin, who is the founder of Ethereum, is worth about $1 billion, but he's very active and well known with his blockchain. So he's been a spokesperson for it. He's been out in front developing it and working on the upgrades. And Satoshi Nakamoto, who is worth a lot more than Vitalik Buterin at $60 billion, is kind of an enigma. No one knows who he is. He hasn't really done anything publicly since releasing Bitcoin as a blockchain. He invented it like a decade ago. So no one has really seen or heard from him and even knows who he is. So he hasn't been helping kind of promote Bitcoin in the same way. Additionally, we can see that one of the newest ways to use blockchain is decentralized finance. So that's a way of financing companies or providing loans by staking cryptocurrency that other people can then use for their company for like a startup or for something like a loan. So $176 billion total has been value locked, so that's how much has been staked using these blockchain methods. 130 billion of it is in Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain and Ethereum apps, and 11.5 billion of it is in Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain and Bitcoin apps. And there are far fewer Bitcoin apps for this decentralized finance than Ethereum. So that's something that will continue to increase the value of Ethereum as compared to Bitcoin as the Ethereum decentralized financing apps are developed. Additionally, Ethereum is undergoing a major overhaul of their infrastructure, and they're looking at decreasing their current energy consumption is going to be about 1% of what it is. So it's a lot cheaper to run the blockchain in terms of energy consumption. And then they're also looking at increasing its speed by a factor of 1,000. So it will run about 1,000 times faster, which makes it a lot more scalable. Additionally, they're the best platform for building centralized apps. They have the most decentralized apps. They build it using the Ethereum framework on the Ethereum blockchain. And then they're also the front runner for NFTs, so NFT minting and storing. An NFT is a non-fungible token. It's a unique token that is attached to something digital, a digital asset such as an image file, that marks and authenticates the owner of that file. So if you were looking at sort of like a painting, it's the same thing but with a digital file. Again, Ethereum is a lot smaller than Bitcoin at this time, with a market cap of about 380 billion versus Bitcoin's 850 billion. But as we prepare for the flippening, we can expect that gap to decrease to nothing and eventually become negative when Ethereum overtakes Bitcoin. So Ethereum is known as the Amazon of information to the Goldman Sachs group. And that is a good comparison because Amazon started as a small bookstore online and grew to kind of a worldwide empire that has all kinds of different technology that it's researching and working on in different areas of business, far beyond just books. So it's a marketplace. It has a lot of items besides books. It has started working on delivery drones. It started working on robotics for their warehouses. They've started working on cloud services. They're the front runner for cloud services. So it's just how this small kind of tech company or blockchain could actually touch on all these different areas and improve and become such a kind of heavyweight company or entity. So for our conclusion, we would expect blockchain growth to continue for a while, and that's all blockchains, like including Bitcoin and not just Ethereum or the altcoins. As we could see earlier from the market caps, the market cap of Bitcoin is about 2 to 3 times higher than the market cap of Ethereum. So over the next 5 years, we could expect Ethereum to hit that market cap or overtake it as we prepare for the flippening. which means that Ethereum could be worth 2 to 3 times as much in the near future. And then higher returns are also possible for other altcoins, but they're much riskier because, like I said, Bitcoin's the biggest cryptocurrency, Ethereum's the second biggest. The smaller ones have more potential to explode, kind of in terms of value, since they are so much smaller, and as the technology for them is validated, or they make different deals, or it's just used for different things. But they're also a lot riskier because they don't have as much clout, so they can just disappear kind of overnight, since they're not as established. So I'd like to ask you if you have any questions. That's a joke. If you do have questions, feel free to message me on Coursera. And these are the references I used for preparing and creating this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, prepare for the flippening.